Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohsin Ali, and I am a MA Political Science student at UIII University Islam International Indonesia. So, in this week, under week 10, we have to discuss about the global environmental governance, in which I have to discuss an article which is the global oceans governance, new and emerging issues. So let's talk about the introduction first. Uh, in introduction, the authors basically defined and highlighted the main importance of global uh, oceans governance. So in recent decades, we saw the global ocean governance has undergone significant transformation as ocean ecosystem face intensifying pressure from the climate change, overfishing, pollution, and industrialization. The mechanism used to govern and manage marine resources have evolved rapidly. So in this article, the article is written by Lisa M. Campbell and other colleagues that is highlighting the oceans are facing increasing environmental, social, and economic pressure. So in response, ocean governance has evolved significantly over recent decades. This article explores how governance has shifted from state-led control to more complex multi-actor system involving NGOs, corporations, international bodies, and communities. The authors analyze the implication of these changes and critically assess whether emerging governance structures are effective, equitable, and sustainable. And other thing, the author highlight the increasing complexity and fragmentation of governance, arguing that uh, diversification of authority brings both opportunities for innovation and risk of inequality and exclusion. The study basically is critically examines emerging practices and policies in ocean governance, questioning who holds power, how decisions are made, and what outcomes these systems produce for different communities and ecosystem. So, what are the main questions has been discussed in this article? We saw that the uh, why who governs the ocean today, and how has this changed over time? Traditionally, oceans were managed by sovereign states or through international law like the United Nations Convention on Law of Sea. Today, governance involves a broader set of stakeholders. So the questions remains that what the implication are of this shift from state-led government to multi-actor governance. The investigation our changes have improved ocean management or simply reshaped our dynamics. How governance decisions intersect with power and inequality, particularly in the context of global north exerting influence over marine space in the global south. Global South is very important. So, what roles do market-based approaches like certification and public-private partnership in governing the oceans? If we talk about the main arguments in this article, the main argument of this article is ocean governance has become a more polycentric evolving multi-center of decision-making authority, which complicates but also potentially enrich the governance process. The authors basically argue the old model where states acted as the primary decision makers is being replaced by a more complex web of actors, some of whom are private entities or civil society organizations. So the shift basically from government is changed. Now, governance is no longer limited. to states. A wide range of actors now influence ocean policy, including NGOs, corporation, and philanthropies. So territories of ocean is also now changed through the marine protected areas and exclusive economic zones is increasing, often reflecting a political interest more than ecological priorities. It's a political interest based on. And market-based tools like eco-labeling and certification are rising about may shift power away from the public accountability. So, despite this, global frameworks, fragmentation of authority remains a challenge, creating conflict and overlap between different governance bodies. There is a need of question who benefit from current ocean governance strategies, especially considering historical and geopolitical inequalities. What are the main key points in this article? We can see that the current phase of global ocean governance is shift from the centralized government to decentralized government. And this includes the involvement of NGOs, private companies, international organizations, and transnational networks that influence or implement marine policies. So the territory, basically, the territorialization of ocean space is reflected in the spread of EEZ. EEZ means economic exclusive zones, and especially large marine protected areas, which often have geopolitical as well as ecological motivations. Authors basically analyze the rise of neoliberal environmental governance, especially the reliance on market-based solutions such as eco certification. These trends are not neutral. In this article, it highlighted that these trends are not neutral. They reshape power relations and determine who gains access to ocean resource, who is excluded, and who decide the terms of management. The author also emphasized the fragmentation of governance system, where conservation, fisheries, and energy sectors often operate in cells, leading to insufficiencies and sometimes contradictory objectives. The governance, basically, the governance discourse frequently frames decisions as a technical and rather than the political, obscuring debates over a justice, sovereignty, and participation. So we can say that there are three major trends in oceans that we saw that from government to governance, multiple stakeholders, and from neoliberal governance, increasing the reliance on market mechanism and territorial expansion. So these are the main key points that has been highlighted by the authors. And other examples as discussed in the article is the Marine Stewardship Council, a well-known certification program for the sustainable fishing, which illustrate how private actors shape governance through the market mechanism. Large marine protected areas also is the often framed as a conservation success, but the article highlights how they can serve geopolitical interests and displace local fisheries. Is this based on the interest, or it is on a political interest based? So SDG 14, life below water, used as a global benchmark for ocean sustainability, though the implementation varies widely across the context. BPNG, biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction, an emerging international framework that shows how ocean governance is expanding beyond national boundaries. So if we talk about the conclusion, the authors provide a number of illustrate examples basically to support their analysis. On one key example is a Marine Stewardship Council, MSC, a non-governmental certification body that labels seafood as a sustainability harvested. So another major example in is a large marine protected areas as well. So while often frames are a conversation success, LMBA can also serve a geopolitical purpose, enabling countries to assert sovereignty over vast marine territory. Additionally, the author discussed the international frameworks such as SDG 14, life below water, and negotiation and biodiversity beyond the national jurisdiction. These initiatives reflect both progress and persistent challenges uh, in this article. So in short term, the authors contend the global ocean governance is a state formation and marked by the increasing diversity in actors, tools, and institutions. While this polycentric approach can foster innovation and a broader engagement, it also introduces a new tension and potential inequalities. The author also caution that these evolving systems often mask power asymmetries and may marginalize local voices, particularly those in the south, in a global south. Furthermore, the rise of market-based mechanism brings efficiency, but also reduce transparency and accountability in decision making. In this article, calls for a more critical, reflective approach to ocean governance. One of the recognize the inherently political nature of managing marine resource. Future efforts must address not only ecological sustainability but also issues of social justice, participation, and equitable access. Only then can ocean governance be truly effective and inclusive in the face of global environmental change. So the author call for a more critical approach basically in this article. So thank you so much from this is from my side, and I hope you have learned some the important insightful content from this article. Thank you.